Okay. The unknown takes on letters of the alphabet.
Huh.
Are we online?
We are.
Hooray. Hooray.
Right, indeed.
Hooray.
So I don't really usually tweet, so...
I'm on it.
Oh, you're on it? Okay.
Yeah. I don't check my Twitter anymore, so. Have I missed anything good?
I don't think so.
I rely on you guys to tell me these things because we live in a hellscape. And I'm much better off just not knowing about it. Which, yes, I know. Check my privilege. Don't care. Don't care. I can afford not to care, so I'm not going to care. Sorry, not sorry. Don't at me.
What?
Because I don't use my Twitter anymore. So don't at me.
Oh.
Because it won't go to me. It'll just float into the ether.
Oh, 2019. Jesus.
That's spelled with an A. And
What?
an E. Isn't it? When you spell ether like that, it's like A-E. I don't know.
What is the difference? Is ether like the stuff you put on a rag when you want to kidnap
Yes.
someone?
And ether is the ephemeris stuff.
So the aether is the ephemeral stuff.
Right.
The ether is the
The thing we used to
when
knock
you
people
get
out.
shut
when-
down.
Knock people out to give them surgery. The shit Michael Caine was addicted to in the Cider House rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, references.
Bam. Don't you know, motherfucker?
Yeah. Good night, you motherfucking Princess of Maine. Fuck Kings of New England. What?
Yeah. He was dropping that shit on people.
That had motherfucking,
So
that had motherfucking Seabiscuit in it.
And suddenly the guy's running by the thing going, oh! Oh! Yep.
He's dropping them Charlize Therons.
That's right, she was in that.
Yeah, she was.
Though I do like the
I
term.
have tweeted.
Oh, tweet
Yeah.
tweet that shit.
I do like when somebody just gets owned so hard that people say they got ethered. I'm a big fan of using it as a verb.
I like bodied as well.
Yeah, bodied is fucking good. Yeah, Chuck, we have snacks. You could have had a snack if you'd shown up.
Yeah. Sucks
Instead,
to be you.
we're eating your Reese's Big Cup.
Yeah.
Snacks are for healthy boys only.
Courtesy of my friend BJ.
Yeah, Mackey's friend BJ.
I'm as generous as I am beautiful.
He's not very generous.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's why he didn't drive one over to you, Chuck.
I'm not. Look, I'm not going into the fucking quarantine zone.
Oh.
Yeah, for real. Like you don't want to catch that. I appreciate you not being here, Chuck. It makes our life a lot easier because there's no risk of dying. Well, I mean, there's slight risk of dying. There's literally every moment of your life there's a risk of dying.
That's true. Except for when you're dead. But I guess that's not really included in what you were just stating above.
I made the exception in event of death.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that can stop death. It's death itself.
So do you have a plot summary for this one?
All that shit that somebody wrote on fucking IMDb.
Yeah, the letterbox one's pretty long too.
God, it's probably just copied.
Yeah.
I like how you used to couldn't copy anything from IMDb, and now it's like Letterboxd is like, yeah, just copy all that shit. We don't care anymore.
You could use the really short summary from the top of the IMDb page.
That's what I'm looking at, isn't it?
The 2-line one, right before the full summary, before the jump.
I mean, you're saying before you hit see full summary, just read
Yes,
that part
yeah.
without cut mysteriously and all the rest of that shit.
Yes.
All right, I guess whenever. Sure.
So the car was a regular episode, right?
Yeah.
So you three were here for the car, which I was not.
Right. Yeah. The car cannot have a full complement of cast. Apparently, no cars
Yeah.
were harmed in the making of the car. That's probably not true. Probably several cars that were harmed.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Bill's here.
Bill's here. God, that game's already 10 years old. The fuck? They're finally making a spiritual sequel.
Oh. Okay.
I forget what they're calling it, though.
All right.
It's something for something.
Right for life? No, wait.
No.
I wanna-
Skills for kills?
Kinda-
No. But no, what is it? Turtle Rock, I believe, was the name of the studio.
Okay.
I believe they bought themselves out of Valve.
Well, was Evolve them?
Hmm?
Was that Evolve one? Was that them?
Yes, they did make Evolve.
Yeah. Or is like
Oh, so they
it's like
should be broken.
it's like
Which
12 on
failed
1. Yeah.
horribly, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's just do this thing. Nobody's gonna care about. Huh? Well, I know. I mean, once you're done chewing and stuff. Let's say I don't know if this one warrants like waiting around too long because
No.
we ain't gonna have much to say about this.
No.
You're not gonna be missing much.
No wiki page, huh?
No. Definitely not.
If you want me to really mess with your brain, the district attorney guy that gets killed and becomes the car. So he was supposed to be Edward James Olmos's kid on Battlestar Galactica.
He was Edward James Olmos's.
He was what,
kid.
Apollo? Was that the guy's name?
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Never saw his mom, I guess. So it's sort of like, all right, what does mom look like? Because
Yeah.
I can't follow your calculus.
Can't reach these kids. So you ready? Done chewing?
All right, let's do this.
Full digestion. About to happen.
Yeah, got some issues down there right now. Gonna work out. All right, welcome to fuck. Fuck you.
What happened to your clapper? Did it break?
The top part keeps wanting to come off, so it's just
Yeah.
easier for me to use my
Okay.
built-in clappers.
Just checking.
Here we go. Do it again. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Yeah, episode 460.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weed numbers or
Nice
something.
indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
Yeah.
And Chuck is dying this week.
Yeah. Special guest dying. Chuck.
Yeah, we banned him from the studio.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's self-banned.
Yeah, he self-banned
Yeah.
himself. Self-imposed exile of 101 degrees.
So what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot jokes.
However, there are bad movies. Listen, stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags is in giant bags of trash.
Garbage. Not
They're
good.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like them.
Wretched.
Don't know why I'm singing.
I don't know.
Yep.
Seinfeld singing over there.
Yeah.
I should have looked up what episode it was. It was a while back, I believe. We covered 1977's The Car.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, 1977's The
Yeah.
Car.
The rest of you did. I
Yeah.
skipped that
Yes.
episode.
And now Chuck's skipping this episode.
Yeah.
Because
so strange.
for whatever reason, someone was like, in this year of our Lord 2019, someone was like, I think we should make a sequel to The Car. Sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And so we watched 2019's The Car: Road to Revenge. It's
Unrated.
it's a direct-to-video streaming service thing.
Yeah.
That's very loosely a sequel to The Car, sort of. I don't know.
It feels like a movie that, like, as we were watching, it felt like there's like two scripts that got smushed together,
Yeah, at least 2.
and then they were just like, "What if one of those was the car?"
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not much in the way of BMFcast alums in this. There's really only one person, and It's almost not worth reading. I mean, we will list off the credits, but he's in the movie for about 2 minutes. I mean, it's like it's like the shortest time possible to get somewhere near top billing of a movie that I think I've ever seen. I mean,
yeah,
but
it's Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, Ronnie Cox, who was in the original The Car.
He was in The Car, playing Luke, a cop.
Sure.
And this one, he's not. He's a mechanic.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you if he's supposed to be the same guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't tell you if he's supposed to be the same guy.
No.
It seems highly unlikely, considering this is in a future thing, but whatever.
Yeah, but he has, Chuck has listed for us, he was in The Car. Deep Blue Sea, which I do not remember him in Deep Blue Sea. Claims he was in Deep Blue Sea. Anyway, Captain America, the not great one. Loose Cannons, One Man Force, and Steel Justice.
Yeah. But in talking about the multiple matching up of scripts in this thing, there's a plot summary. It's long and it's annoying. I guess I'll read a sentence because, tradition and all that.
Please do.
In a dilapidated cyberpunk city plagued by crime and corruption, an unscrupulous district attorney is savagely murdered and tossed out of a building onto his brand new car. There's more. And so it seems like for a half a second, this is setting up something to do with the car, maybe.
But no, it is basically a movie where a car is murdering people.
And that's sort of the side plot, in a way.
Yeah. It's also not like The Car in that in the car just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it was
never explained.
It's like, hello, everyone, I'm a car, and I'm here to murder you.
Only it was like...
Right, I mean...
it was in car speak.
Right, I didn't want everybody to have to, translate from car. It's a
didn't want to use
language.
Google Translate. It always comes out wrong.
But in this, the district attorney becomes the car's brain somehow through magic.
We're gonna blow through this plot real quick because it's kind of nothing. I mean it's set up. All right, so the district attorney in question is Jamie Bamber, who was Apollo on the Battlestar reboot. That's what you may know him from. He's
a shithead.
Yeah, he's just he's super tough on crime, district attorney running on fear. But to be fair, they live in a shithole city where crime is happening all the time. So
I believe it was described as a cyberpunk dystopia.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where it's like, okay, yeah, he's an asshole, but it's like it's the Gotham problem. Like how hard is too hard on crime when crime is running rampant in your streets?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But he's kind of an asshole because we see, a brief moment of I think it's our hero cop guy stopping a random, assault. And it's immediately guys put in front of a judge. Judge is guilty, death penalty. And this tube drops on the guy and they just microwave him in the middle of the courtroom. Yes. And then it's just all right, so swift justice in this new dystopian future. And then it's him doing somewhat nefarious shit that we don't understand right away. And then it's hey, I'm going to go meet my ex-wife for dinner. Or fiance or whatever the hell she is. And so it's then it's a few moments of him trying to woo her back and her being I'm not buying whatever this new act is. I know you're a shithead. Take me home. And he hops in his brand new hot shit, cyberpunked out Chrysler 300.
Yeah, or 800. I don't know.
I mean, they call it a Lazarus in the movie, but it's it's a Chrysler 300 with a bunch of shit molded onto it.
Yeah, it looks like the Thursday night meets in the Best Buy parking lot crowd got a hold of a bunch of real shitty body kits for a Chrysler 300, slapped them all on there,
and put Lambo doors on it.
Yes,
because that's what you do when you're an asshole, I guess.
And the worst thing about these Lambo doors, I mean, besides the fact that they're fucking Lambo doors, almost every Lambo door kit that you get in the entire world, unless they're custom fabricated, is janky as shit, and these are no exception. The car from The Car was a lovingly crafted, evil-looking machine. This is just a shitty Chrysler 300.
Yep.
You can even see the paint on the body kit looks like somebody did a bad job of using a spray can.
Yeah.
It's
But he's showing off his hot shit car, and it's like, oh, it's got a brain. It can practically drive itself. At this point, I feel like you made this movie now. Like, if you're setting anything in like 5 years in the future, the cars are completely driving themselves. Like,
right.
That should be future tech at this point. But whatever.
Yeah, because the girl, when she's in the car, she's like, "Oh, is it a self-driving car?" And it's like, "Yeah, this is the fucking future."
Yeah,
yeah, you're damn right. It's a self-driving
we're almost
car.
there now. Like, let's give it a couple years. It'll be there. But anyway, like, of course he says something, and then she's like, "Just take me home now," and he does, and he's like, "Yep, you're still an asshole." And,
well, yeah, and as he's letting her out, he says, "I'm never going to stop."
Yeah, until I get you.
Yeah.
Which I still
That's
like.
not creepy
If
at all.
if you've ever like heard him actually talk, he's British, and I don't know what he does. Like, not only does he throw on fake American accent, but his voice is really high pitched when he actually talks, and it's like, it must be exhausting. Like, it's sort of like anyone watches Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you ever see like Rosa actually talk, it's disturbing because the entire time she's on that show, that is not her voice at all, and it's very similar with him. So it kind of must be exhausting to just like lower your voice several octaves all the time when you talk. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, it's like people on The Walking Dead. It's like, oh wait, you can speak British.
oh yeah,
Yeah, instead of just mumbling. Yeah.
I speak English, but put acorns in my mouth.
Yeah, I just love that the British version of a Southern accent is just mumbling.
Yeah. Yeah,
But literally everyone on that show is British.
Right.
So then when they have interviews with them, like, oh yes, he was.
Oh yes, actually.
Yes, he was.
Oh, you have.
We're a bit
Quite-
scared of these zombies.
quite the acting
don't-
moment.
Are they New Zealanders?
Don't say the Z word.
Zombies.
But anyway, I digress. But anyway, yes, he gets creepy and is like, okay, yeah, bye. And then because whatever thing, the MacGuffin chip that they're after.
There's some chip that he has recovered somehow that's been given to him.
He recovered it from the goon that he murdered in the courtroom. Yeah, it was he had it in that shitty Dodge Neon, Chrysler Neon.
Yeah.
Somehow there was a Chrysler Neon. I don't.
Yeah, as we know in this movie,
I thought it was
all
Dodge
the,
and Plymouth made the Neon.
You are correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
all, isn't one,
It was probably Chrysler.
it had a
in-
different
in-
name
in
when it was a
Bulgaria
Chrysler.
or wherever it was. Like, that's probably what it was.
just like the Eagle Talon was the Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Sure.
Same fucking car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the cars in this movie, aside from the car, are like, all right, we got like an early 2000s something, and we
One
slapped-
guy had a new Celica, like a within the last 2 years Celica.
Yeah,
Oh no, that was an old Celica.
I don't think it was.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it
looked
was
like-
older.
I
Yeah.
think that was that futurized one they made. They come out with like a couple years ago because it had those like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It was
either way.
It
like,
had a shitty body kit
like-
on it to make it look futuristic.
yes, all the cars in this movie suck.
The cop cars are like Chrysler Sebrings, and they're almost all Chrysler cars. It's weird.
Yeah.
But they're like Chrysler Sebrings and Dodge Strati, I guess. And the weird like wedge-shaped 300s that they came out with at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
They're all bad. But he has this chip. Whatever. Skip to the end. It's basically all the evidence of whatever dealings of the shady guy who runs the syndicate called the Knight. And he's got it, and he's going to use it against them. And of course, they're like, get that shit back. So they send goons, cyberpunk goons, to after him. Which we briefly meet in their shit, goth bar.
Yeah, this is where it's like somebody wanted to inject some personality in this movie, but like it doesn't work because it doesn't carry over into anything. Because it's this group that's sitting in a bar, and one of them is like
one of them is literally
one's like Dracula from Dracula 3000.
Oh, I was going to say
almost exactly.
He's basically one of the guys from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
There's that guy, and then there's another guy. There's another vampire from What We Do in the Shadows who's like the sort of top hat guy, and he just kind of like, he looks like younger Tom Waits, like doing a thing, sort of like, like I'm in a movie being weird. There's
He's like a cross between like Tom Waits and Ozzy Osbourne, like current Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Just, but with a weird ass Southern accent.
And then there's kind of like the Brigitte Nielsen type almost.
Yeah, like when you think cyberpunk lady,
Yes.
her.
Yes.
And then there's like the bionic commando. There's a guy with a bionic arm.
Yep.
And it's just like he's big dude with a very bad bionic arm.
Yeah.
Prosthesis
But
thing on.
they're given their instructions from a guy who's just a straight up cowboy.
I was hoping that was going to carry over, like he was going to be part of the crew.
Yeah.
Because this yokel just comes in, like not yokel, local to whatever fucking country they're in.
It's like the cyberpunk village people or some shit. They're just like but it's like the 5-cent cyberpunk village people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like what your parents thought cyberpunk was 5 to 10 years ago. It's
Yeah, but the problem I have with it is like it never carries over to any of their personalities.
Nope. No.
Like I could see if like they were leaning into it or something.
The only guy
but
that leans
no.
into it is the Tom Waits dude.
Kind of, yeah.
He does like this real weird, like overly enunciated Southern/Louisiana thing, which is not what his actual accent is, obviously, because he's doing it so bizarrely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this super pronounced, like I am going to enunciate every word.
I am going to kill you.
But he's the only one who like really leans into it. I was really hoping Frilly Vampire Guy was going to do something,
Right.
but
He's
he's
gonna full
he's
What We Do
he's
in the
the
Shadows.
lamest one, and he's the one that lasts the longest. And it's like whatever. But
sucks.
so yeah, they go murder him, and like where's the money Lebowski him, and he's just like I don't know. And
Yeah, I mean they torture him pretty good
Yeah.
before that. Like they burn his face.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
But
He
they
does
don't really
some kind of
show
drill
us.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
oh, yeah.
country
Like-
vampire dude like,
Yeah.
has this like this shtick. He gets up in this dude's face, flips him the bird, and immediately the end of his finger splits apart, and this pointy, spinny thing comes out,
Yeah.
and then he jams it in the guy's eye, which is pretty disturbing for a kind of shitty CG effect. It's
Yeah, but this movie doesn't shy away from gore at all. I mean,
No, it's
the
all
guy,
digital, but-
Yeah, the guy who gets microwaved like pops.
There's
in
a
the tube, there's
couple
blood all
there's
over.
a couple blood sacks where they let the car run over,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
anything that looks like an actual person. But
most of it's digital.
Yeah, but they basically show him getting his eye drilled out, and then the next scene is all of a sudden him getting thrown out the window, falling 50 stories, and landing on the car.
well, let's be fair. Let's not call it the car because the car is
Yeah.
much cooler than this Chrysler 300 piece of shit.
Yes.
But yeah. So he's dead, and it's
Yep.
then we're introduced to main cop dude who's just,
Well, yeah, he's the cop from the intro.
right, yeah. But he's what's his name? I guess we need a name for him. Rainer. I got his name. But yeah,
Sure.
he's just burly, grizzled cop guy, and it's crime scene and interviewing people, and we, of course, he gets around to going back to the ex-wife because it's like she's one of the last people that saw him alive, and she's a suspect / maybe needs protection because she might know where her thing is. So there's a lot of running around. Then that's really like the entire second act of the movie. Like Carr almost goes away for the entire second act of the movie because it's just doing cop things and do I trust you? Are you a suspect? And then we're going to team up. And Carr will come in periodically and murder one of the people.
Well, the car murders like 3 people.
Sure, but I'm saying it's like it's secondary. It's weird because like this movie, I mean, Chuck and who's not here and I were texting like when this movie started up. I was like, oh, someone accidentally made a Crow movie instead of the Car movie because that's kind of what this is. It's like, hey, there are 4 random assholes who murdered you, so I got to kill them one at a time, and then go get the big bad who actually orchestrated it, and is only going to make it worse by kidnapping the person that's still alive eventually, and I'll have to go murder him too. Literally, the Crow plot, the paint by numbers
formula.
Yeah, the Crow formula. Except it's also a little bit RoboCop, except if Murphy was an asshole who didn't actually like anybody and nobody liked him. It's like it's. So,
Well, that's also the problem with this movie is everyone comes off as an asshole.
right. Yeah, but
Because like
yeah,
the cop is just like a dick to this woman.
pretty much. Yeah.
Where it's basically like it's like you're the last one who's seen with him, and then she's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it right now, and he's like, put your feelings aside.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this shit now. She's like, nah, click. I mean, he comes off like a dick. She just seems to get angrier and angrier. Like she becomes less sympathetic as the movie goes on.
Pretty much, yeah. Because like her entire backstory is like, Jamie Bever's DA guy is like, one of those like you must act this way, do this. I'm going to run your life and stuff. And for better or worse, it may have helped because her supposed backstory is like, she's a ghetto kid from whatever the bad part of this, wherever the fuckistan they are, and. So she got refined and lives in a nice house now, but she used to be rough and tough because she came from the streets. And that's her entire reason for like slowly reverting back to tough lady by the end or something. And
Yeah.
whatever. But we see Bionic Commando guy eat it. You know, he comes out of the club one day and the car's just waiting for him. So like that's the first car murder after. Well, car murdered the guy at the impound lot too, because they were just dropping the car off covered in blood, and it just comes alive and kills the tow truck driver. Because
Did it kill the tow truck driver?
oh yeah, it ran right over the
Okay.
right over that dude. So it's still back on that the car will just indiscriminately murder, but specifically it's there to murder those 4 thugs and the ringleader dude.
Yeah, and the first one, it squishes his head against the countertop or
Yeah.
something. Like, it smashes him into a building.
I mean, here's the thing, and right away in this movie, to me, like, I can kind of forgive the first car because they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's like a desert town. You know, nothing's higher than 2 stories probably in the whole fucking town. It's all quarry and dirt and railroad tracks. There's not a lot of places to hide from the car in the first one. This one is like a whole goddamn city, and it's like, just go upstairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you can escape the car. Like,
Yeah.
it's real easy. Like, look at this big city. There's water towers. There's all kinds of things that the car can't get you. Like, climb up a
Yeah.
ladder. Like, you know, like
What is the deal? Why can't you just run upstairs with the car?
I mean, that's how one guy saves himself later
Yeah.
on.
I mean, it's literally like this one is it paints it. It's even stupider. It's like you can escape the car. It's not hard. Like serpentine motion and get higher. You know, but yeah, he kills this guy because he just runs down the middle street going, "Oh no, car!" And yeah, pins him up and squishes his head.
I mean, like the first guy, you're like, oh, holy shit, this car's coming after me. But once word gets out that the car is murdering people, the next like 3 or 4 people that get murdered by the car, they kind of did it to
it's kinda-
themselves
yeah,
by not
it's
running away from the car
kind
properly.
of on them for not getting higher ground. But anyway, yeah. So they murder Bionic Commando guy. He's dead. Like I said, one of the just on outward appearance, one of the cooler looking dudes that we get to know nothing about because probably he was a horrible actor or something like.
Yep.
And also, I don't want to wear this fucking thing on my arm. Fine, you're the first one to die.
Yeah,
and then
and at this point, they've been sent out by their leader guy. He's like, well, you didn't get the chip.
yeah.
Fuck's wrong with all of you? Go find the girl. She was with him last.
It bothers me that like this guy reminds me of something, but he's not. Like the leader dude, whatever the fuck his name is.
He looks like a Vash the Stampede with a white coat instead.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he reminds me of somebody from like some villain from some other movie, but I can't place it.
He's
generic.
He's doing Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Kinda.
much.
But with like a white lab coat thing going on.
And
yeah.
creepy eyes because he's
Yeah.
got bionic eyes or something.
Yeah.
But
Either way, yeah, he's
yeah. Oh, where's the disc? I'm very disappointed. Go get the disc
yeah, but sends him out after the girl. So that's when we get
or chip, whatever the fuck.
yeah.
But yeah,
And then we got and that's when guy who watched True Blood too much comes after her and brings his group, and she has brought her friend over, the friend who was at the funeral, and tried to cheer her up. And
gets her throat slit for her troubles.
yeah, basically sleeping, wakes up and gets killed, and then she's fighting the guys, and he's like, Bayou guy's like, well, don't kill her yet.
Well, like what? Like they both like they have bald headed henchmen dudes like being creepy. Like one's like the main lady's sleeping in her bed, the other one's crashed on the couch, and like these creepy bald dudes just like get right next to them while they're sleeping and are like patting at them and stuff. And so she wakes up and is like, first she hears her friend scream and get her throat slit, and then like she wakes up, of course, and this guy's like on top of her, and she's kind of fighting with him and reaches over to her nightstand and pulls out like a 44 Magnum.
Massive gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And
I
then just like blows that dude's head
I
off.
do appreciate the reaction of Bayou asshole guy, because he's just like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like he was not expecting her
No.
to have a fucking hand cannon that
Yeah.
just decapitated this dude.
Yeah, so like she begins fighting back at this point pretty much because she
Yeah.
blew that guy's head off and then shot the other bald-headed dude who like had backed up to the doorway or whatever, and then
But she ran out of bullets, so she had to run out into the forest.
yeah,
And he eventually catches up to her, but the car
Dun
is
dun
there.
dun.
yeah, the car's in the forest,
Yes.
natural home of the car.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, it was also hanging out
The
outside her
car.
house.
It was, yeah,
It's a stock car.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode title.
But yes, it finds him and basically chases him around. He gets in his car, and there's a little bit of a car chase.
But this is the
Where it
guy
fucks
that
with him.
has arguably the newer Celica, which is like not. It does not fit his personality.
No.
Like it's part of like the hilarity of this is because like he's in whatever Toyota Celica, like and yeah, he's like Bayou vampire guy. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. But yeah, he runs out and like his car dies, and then like the car basically has sort of like out of nowhere brandished like a urban brush guard, like a bumper, you know, like a police car style bumper on the front of it. It was like that wasn't there a minute ago, but whatever. And pushes his car over like when I say a bridge, I mean like one of those like it's barely
An overpass.
It's like not even like a proper overpass though, like a country overpass that's like no trucks
Right.
over like 10 feet can go under this. You're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
Like no semis are going under this.
Yeah.
So this car just like goes like down. It's like, oh no, he probably got mildly injured. But of course, like in the movie
He's
terms,
going to be sore tomorrow.
In movie terms, he comes out and it's like his legs are like compound fractured. And he's like,
Yeah.
ah!
Well, he didn't have a seatbelt on.
dragging
so-
himself down the street.
It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, like
Yeah, and then the car shows up, and he's like, "Oh God,
no.
not the car!"
But yeah, he gets swished.
Yeah, and it does the maneuver where it just rolls up his dick and then over his chest, and then pops his head like a grape.
Yeah. Yep. So he's dead. So two out of 4 are already dead. Like very quick. So at this point, like
The detective,
yeah,
has taken her.
this guy's like, all right, I don't know if you're a suspect or not, but like you're definitely in danger. So come with me. I'm gonna keep you safe in this shithole hotel.
Yeah, and
Not hotel, motel. Like to
he
be fair,
guards her over the night by sitting in a chair outside the room.
And falling asleep. half
Have
the
you
time.
done this before, guy?
Obviously.
I'm
not.
guessing not.
yeah. I mean, you could at least sit in your car. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably got a little bit of a recline, and you can still watch the door.
Yeah, or sit inside the room.
Or sit inside the room, yeah,
Yeah.
either way, yeah. But whatever, give her privacy, I guess. But then next day, he's like, I'm going to go chase some leads, you stay here. And this shitty motel has a feature where you can, like, card lock the door from the outside, which is not
I
a
think
thing.
he used a key.
Well, no, they had, like, a beep, beep, card thing, but, like, somehow he, like, locked the door from the outside, and, like,
He-
that's not a feature.
He had a key in his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weirred.
All right, but yeah, she's just like, nope, fuck that noise, and breaks the glasses. Like, I'm coming
Yeah,
with
she
you.
she defenestrates a chair.
Yep.
And then it's like he's like, I'm going to the data market, and she's like, oh, I'm definitely bringing my gun. And this is where the movie gets like, I mean, the movie's weird enough as far as where the fuck is this, because there's a cityscape that looks like it might possibly be where this market tips its hand that it might be actually, because there's like a bag that says it's in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Yeah.
And it's like that might be the city skyline of actual Kuala Lumpur. I don't know, but this city, like, also it's like part of it is supposed to be like cyberpunk Detroit, Crow style. Then it's like, then you've got this like thriving urban environment, and then there's a part later in the movie where there's a car chase, and it's like they're literally going around what looks like a Civil War statue, and there's a bait shop in the background. It's like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
But anyway, this is just like, all right, let's go talk to the wise old hacker guy and make a deal and get information on the night. And he's just about to tell it, but of course one of his henchmen is secretly on the take from the night and shoots him in the head just as before he gives the information. And the cyberpunk lady busts in. I think that's where she busts in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she kicks down the door
Yeah.
and is like, everyone in here is going to die. And it
Yeah.
just starts this shootout where
Yeah, it's a bad shootout. And then, of course,
Yeah.
because it's like ladies have to fight, men can't fight ladies. So despite we have not really, other than like her showing her friend, like, look, this is what I learned in, kickboxing class. It's like we have no, other than her saying like, I grew up on the streets. There's no sign at this point other than she has a 44 Magnum and is willing to blow a motherfucker's head off. We have no reason to think that she can fight hand to hand, but they're like, this is a time in the movie where you should fight the badass cyberpunk lady. So they kind of sort of fight, and cyberpunk lady's special ability is apparently a flamethrower on her arm, sort of like the upgrade guns in the
Yeah.
hand
Yeah.
thing.
Kinda.
But yeah, it's like, it's partially like one of those flamethrowers that's like, if it was almost like the pilot light version of a flamethrower, just like, and that part's real, and the rest is really bad CG fire.
Yep.
And then somehow she makes her set herself on fire.
She shoots her a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and she backs into the fire
Yeah.
or gets knocked into it.
Sure, but yeah, she sort of gets a ticket to Burning Lady.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, she's dead, except the car didn't kill her, but she kind of stumbles out all burned out, like, I'm still gonna fight you, and the car is just like waiting, like, yeah, My Kill. I don't know
Yeah.
if you
So-
saw the title of the movie. It's the car.
Excuse me.
It's my road to revenge,
Yes.
not yours. Yeah, so he just runs over her.
Yeah, he runs over her same way he ran over the other guy.
Yeah.
And then pulls up, rolls down the window, and is playing the song that he had
Yeah, like
Played
their
her.
song is
Yeah. when he had first tried to take her out on the date.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "What?"
There's nobody
And-
driving the car, and then it's like,
Yeah.
ew,
and then
smoke.
she collapses.
Wakes up in detective guy's apartment or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, did I pass out? Did I faint?" He's like, "No, you almost died from smoke inhalation." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
And then they,
She deems that as way cooler.
yeah, it's way cooler. And then it's just sort of like, even though I've shown no sign of this whatsoever, I guess situationally we're gonna fuck now, right? Because it's just like there's some banter and they keep getting closer, and then it's like, they fuck.
Yes.
And then
while the car waits outside.
Yeah, it
While
does.
the car waits
The stock
underneath
car.
the apartment.
Like,
Yeah.
well, not only that. It's like it's one of those like, it's like directly beneath them fucking, because like it's one of those apartments where like the living room it like actually hangs over the carport, So it's just it's just sitting right there like, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then next morning it's like they have a mild fight, sort of. Oh, she's like, oh, now that we fucked, like I gotta tell you, I saw inside the car, nobody's driving it. I think it might be my ex-husband.
At least she gives like she says that, but she gives a plausible thing. She's like, I don't know if he like hacked it, did something weird with
Yeah,
it or
could be
what, but
AI, I don't know.
I'm sure that somehow he
Yeah.
was controlling it.
Yeah, there's no one driving, and it played like our song. Like something's up. So I don't know if someone's remote controlling it and fucking with me. Yeah, like she's like, look, I know this sounds crazy. And he's just like, nah. She's like, fine, fuck it, I'm going for a walk, and leaves.
Yeah. To which he goes outside to chase her and immediately realizes,
It's like-
oh fuck, the car's
Well,
here.
he's like, it's not safe. And then he's like, put on his motorcycle jacket and helmet, and he's about to go after her on his motorcycle, but the car is still in the carport basically, and is like, and he's like, oh no, and runs out and like literally does like one of the shittiest like half-assed homages to the Terminator, because he's like, I need your motorcycle, this guy, and the guy's just like, fuck you, and like the same mannerism as the Terminator thing,
Yeah.
and he just steals this guy's dirt bike, and then it just becomes
Dirt bike chase.
dirt bike versus car chase, and it's up at a parking garage, and he's kind of almost doing the right things, like he's weaving in and out of the pylons in the parking garage, but it's the car's just spectacularly keeping up.
Yeah.
And then eventually he slides the bike, kind of fucks up his legs a little bit, and is like, does the smart thing, like, look, ladder, I should climb up that. Car can't follow me there. Except the car like knocks the ladder, which makes him fall down again, and eventually he does get up the ladder, and that's how he gets away.
And then he calls to his partner, who we haven't even mentioned at this point.
The guy's name is Gravenstein.
Yep.
Come the fuck on, movie.
It's not spelled like
Gravenstein.
you would think, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like Grrrey. It's not grave like grave.
Yeah.
I like that IMDb credits him first.
Yeah.
IMDb has Gravenstein. Like, so if you looked at the IMDb, you'd be like, oh, so
Wow.
he's the guy who's going to solve the mystery. Yeah. It's like, no,
The car versus Gravenstein.
He is not.
Yeah. He is not. But no, he calls him and says, hey, something's up with the car. We gotta protect her. I can't get there. But it turns out the call was intercepted by the assistant DA, who
Yeah. Of course
Yada,
he's-
yada,
yeah,
yada.
of course he's evil, and blah,
he's
blah,
on
blah.
the take.
So they send
and-
some other dude, and it's a minor detail, but it's really stupid. And Gravenstein's black, and so for no reason whatsoever, they send another black guy. She's never met Gravenstein.
Right.
Like, it's literally like they look kind of similar. Like
Yeah.
like they have like they're just slightly similar height, and sort
They
of
don't
thing.
know that she doesn't know Gravenstein very well.
I know, but it's just funny. Like, he just, in passing, he's like, don't trust anybody but my partner Gravenstein. And then she's like, okay. And so this dude shows up, rings the video doorbell, and she's like, she does the clever movie thing, like, are you Davis? He's like, who the fuck's Davis? I'm Gravenstein. She's like, oh, you passed the secret test. And
Yeah.
then gets in the car with him, and, of course, they're taking her off to be murdered or whatever. But it's a nitpick, because it's like, why? Like, why, movie? Like, obviously, someone was thinking this. I can't just be like, oh, yeah, they got a kind of similarly heighted black guy to be fake Gravenstein.
Yep.
But
And right around this time too, they've had this big meeting with the lead bad guy, where he's rounded up all all the group of people. And
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing is like
and they've edited it out of sequence because he says, "I've already lost 2 of my best men to this car. You guys need to figure out what's going on and get this car."
Yeah. This was obviously supposed to be before the cyberpunk lady fight because she came in with other dudes.
Yeah, which would explain why she had a team of people.
Right, exactly. But it also it's weird because, all right, you've got this army of modified people. Why were you making such a big deal about these 4? Like, I know it sucks to lose people on your team, but it made it seem like, oh, it's really hard and expensive to do whatever cybernetic bullshit I've done to you.
Nope.
But no, I've got a whole fucking warehouse full of these guys, so whatever.
Yeah.
They were the important ones, I guess.
They were the alpha team or
Boy.
something.
Sure.
He picked his team poorly.
Apparently, yeah.
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 Yeah,
Give
but
me
anyway,
friendly
so-
vampire,
Yeah.
bayou vampire.
Yeah. So these guys are part of that whole the fake cops are part of the group who's trying to get her, because if anyone gets her, they get a free body modification. Anyone brings him the chip, they get unlimited body modifications.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Sure.
for a cyberpunk,
So
Yeah.
this is where the movie
upgrade your deck.
Why
I
not?
know
Protect your neck.
I've said this a few times. Like, there's several. Like, I got to say, I was still, despite it not being remotely like the car, I was still kind of, sort of with this movie until this was my point. This was where I was like, I don't give a fuck what happens the rest of this movie because it just becomes insanity after this. Like, at first you get the out of order, like, pep rally speech by the bad guy, and suddenly you got cyberpunk people driving off in all directions. Also, it should be noted that one of the things that this dude did was one of the bajillion direct-to-video sequels for Death Race, and it really shows in this because it was like, send out the shitty cars from the Subaru group or whatever,
Yeah.
just like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's literally like, whatever your fucking hobby car from the weekend, get in it and come down here and let's make a movie. So she, of course, secretly has her gun and takes the 2 fake cops by surprise and makes them get out of the car and steals the cop car. Well, not only that, like, she makes them get out of the car and is like standing there about to get in the driver's seat, and the car, the titular, the car goes just flying by at full speed and just pulps these dudes. Like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah, it fucking red mists them.
And the car is being chased by the
oh yeah, it's
other group of
there's
cars,
a
right? Yeah.
gaggle of like neon colored pickup trucks and fucking every
Yeah, and apparently
shit
this
car
is
you
their
think of.
plan, is to
Yeah.
like somehow lead the car to this area where they can trap it.
Yeah, and then so like she's got the cop car and gets back in the mix, which of course now the car's like, hey, wait, that was her. I don't give a shit about all this going on behind me. I want the girl. And so it like does a U-turn. It does a U-turn into the worst CG dumbass thing I've ever seen. It's somehow like
It's great.
it like turns real hard and the car just becomes CG and starts flipping, not end over end, but like
Hamburger style.
yeah, like it barrel rolls over this long line of cars and decapitates several dudes who were
Yep.
like in minigun positions
Yep.
on some of the pickup trucks, and it's the shot is so bad that it actually kind of works
Yep.
because it's so bad.
Yep.
Yep.
But that's how it's just like, oh, let's go the other way now by doing this barrel roll flip over 20 cars.
And decapitating men along the way.
Yeah, extra evil Knievel.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then
But yeah, and then it's just like, oh, I'm after her now. So she's like in the cop car, running away from the car. The car is chasing, and these hooligans in the body kit cars
and
are still
they
chasing.
eventually call her on the police radio, and they're like, "Hey, all right, we're
Yeah.
making a deal here.
Yeah,
But like, if you can lead it here,
yeah, we'll let you go. All we want to do is we want to capture and kill the car, and but they still think someone's driving it. We want to kill the driver of the car and just get what's back. And she's like, "And you'll let me go?" And she's like, "Yeah, we'll let you go. Just lead you to this quarry, abandoned quarry, into this building. We got a plan. We'll take it from there." So she pulls in, gets out. They take her by gunpoint and like hold her over there, and they're like calling out like, "All right, let's kill her," so that the car can hear her. And the car's like, "No, no," and drives basically into a sand pit. They've just created a fake sand pit in this building somehow, and it just drives in, and then they're like, "Shoot the shit out of the car!" And everybody shoots the car, and it catches on fire, and they yoink out the chip from whatever.
yeah. Well, they
console
open it
thing.
up. They're like, "There's no driver."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, there never was."
They're like, "You
And they're
double
like-
crossed us." Bleh. It's like, but they still get the chip, and then they just shoot the shit out of the car.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Just wreck the fucking car."
Yep.
So yeah, they destroy this car.
Yep.
Yeah.
But-
and Yeah, and she gets taken to the leader guy, and this is also when it kind of turns into like this was a different movie at some point, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know, we could kill you, but you want to give into the darkness, don't you?
He gives this whole...
You never belonged with all the rich people, and
he says something like, "There's already like, you really want to be a corpse? There's already so many corpses walking around up there, you know, drinking, you know, frappuccinos and doing yoga and stuff." He's like, "Why wouldn't you join the night and be cool?" I mean, it's literally like on that fucking level, and it's like, okay, she's just like, yeah, all right, that's my choices or death, right? Like, okay, I guess I'm with you. Like, yeah. So she agrees to, you know, so like she's supposedly joining Team Night over there, and then
meanwhile,
the car is like, well, just wrecked, and
and also meanwhile,
oh, sorry,
our cop friend is being basically set up for murder.
Oh yeah. Gravenstein's alone with him in a cell, and he's like, "You really going along with this shit? I'm obviously being framed, right?"
Yeah, because they're trying to act like he's the driver of the car who's killed all these people. But really, it's just the assistant DA setting him up because he's on the take.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gravenstein never really gets a redemption, and he's just kind of like, shrug.
Yeah, he's like, what am I supposed to do, man? Yeah.
But anyway, like, so the hunk of the car, the dead, flaming wreckage of the car, is taken to a junkyard. And this is where we get Ronnie Cox for about 2 minutes, maybe 3.
I had completely forgotten that Ronnie Cox was in the movie.
Had I about 5 minutes before said, wasn't Ronnie Cox supposed to be in this movie? And then like this tow truck driver shows up, and you can see like a grizzled old hand, and it's like, oh, here's Ronnie Cox finally. So he gets out of the tow truck, and he's just like, oh, what the hell is this? And finds the car, and he's like, just talking to it like, oh man, I can't save you. I mean, all I could do is give you a body transplant, and starts to whip like the tarp off this other car, and it's the proper front end of the car, like the 1977 the car, the real car.
Sweet.
And it's got the grill, and I'm like, you're telling me the real car has been they found the fucking prop, and it's been in this movie the whole goddamn time? And I started to get angry. And then like he rips the rest of it off, and it's like it's another fucking Chrysler 300 that they recreated that grill, and that is all from the original car. And I was like,
bullshit,
fucking car tease.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
car tease.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like saying all this like double entendre stuff about it. He's like, yeah, this car's gonna be a real monster. It's gonna be a real killer, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
I was in RoboCop, remember?
Yeah. I was in Total Recall too. Verhoeven, call me. I'm available.
I'm
Paul,
here, man. Paul, please.
Paul, I'm hungry, Paul.
The sequel's 42 years late. Fucking call me, Paul.
It's been a while. I know I said some things I shouldn't have, Paul, but
I gotta eat.
Ronnie needs food, Paul. Call me.
Ronnie's falling on hard knocks. But yeah. So
yeah, and also he resurrects the car.
He does. He resurrects the car. He puts it in the other shitty 300.
And the car promptly fucking kills him.
Sure does. And, well, like he gets in and tries to start it up. He's like, "Oh, girl, I'm sorry." And then it just fires up on his own. He's like, "Hallelujah, he is alive. I'm Ronnie Cox. Call me Paul Verhoeven." And then it just probably drives right the fuck over him. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, and like they show him
rude.
holding his guts.
Oh
somehow.
yeah. They're like, yeah, he's been eviscerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, thanks for stopping by, Ronnie Cox, I guess.
Sure.
But then the car is just in full-on murder mode at this point. It is just going around corners, just killing pedestrians left and right. Like, it's like, I'm done, like, pretending to be anything. I'm just murdering everybody
like
at this
when
point.
crows have gone wrong, this is what happens.
But, yeah, so, the car's like, I'm going to get there and I'm going to save the girl or whatever. But now, we saw the car murder for a few seconds, including Ronnie Cox. Forget the car for about another 20 minutes because it's done for a while. So back to like the cop. The cop goes before the district, assistant district attorney. I assume the actual district attorney now, and then he's just like, "Let me tell you the whole plan." He's like, I work for him, and we're going to murder you using justice system because
he basically says, "I can execute you."
Yeah.
Because you're going to be found guilty, or you could just resign now.
Yeah, get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
He's like, cool, I'll do that. And then, like, murders him.
Yeah, and he tells him, like, she's already made her deal. It's probably a good idea if you make yours. Yeah. But instead, he he's like, all right, you can have my badge.
Yeah.
I'll give you my badge. I'll put my badge in your face, and pops him in the nose. And
cracks the cop in the room with the crutch that he has.
honestly, the cop gets it way worse.
Oh, sure,
than
yeah.
The guy who needs to get it bad.
Well, the cop had a gun. This guy was just a weasel face.
Yeah.
But
But he basically ends up saying how, oh no, she's with the knight, blah blah blah. Whatever it is, it sends him to some club.
no. Well,
Or no, he
first
goes back home.
First, he goes home and he's like, "All right, I got the guy in charge of the knight's name now," and he's like, "Underground club." Google underground club. One result, Club Abalon or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
Hey Google, where do bad guys hang out?
I'm feeling lucky. I think you want Club Abalon.
Triggered Google.
But yeah, so he's just like, all right, I'm gonna go to this club, and just like grabs the first dude he sees with like an earpiece in his ear. Is like, tell me where fucking Sebastian or whatever his name is. I don't know. Talon, that's the guy's name.
Yeah.
He's like, tell me where Talon, and his guy's just looking at him like, the fuck? And then the car's like, cars in the club, bitch.
Yeah.
Just drives through the door, like comes down the handicap ramp and starts running people over in the club.
Yep.
And then sees him, I guess, and is like, oh, murder cop, I'm gonna kill you. And then
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're trying to initiate her into the night.
yeah.
They bring the assistant district attorney. He's like, I've brought you someone who's failed me. And I'd like to see how creative you are in killing him. And so she's pouring alcohol all over him.
First, it's like, pick up a little tiny like hammer, like it has a surgical purpose, but I don't remember what the fuck it is. But like a little tiny hammer and like a scalpel. And she's like, nah. And it's like, bone saw's ready. And she's like, no. And then she's like, ooh, something flammable. And I'll just douse him with that. And he's like, not very subtle, but all right, brutal. So whatever, I'll take it. And then she like takes a swig and is like acting like she's about to do the like, she's gonna set him on fire by blowing the big flame bubble thing.
But she takes a swig of alcohol just before.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She had it in her mouth and is like, she's gonna do it to him, but turns and of course does it to Talon. And then stabs him in the eye with the scalpel that she was still holding. And he's just like, my eye! And then she just like knees the frilly vampire dude in the nuts and then like runs away.
Yeah. And then it just with his eyeball hanging out of his face, he's just like, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Go kill her.
Yeah.
And then,
She broke my cyber eye.
Yeah. And then Dracula 3000 is like, finally! God!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it's just like that guy runs her down and chases her, and then like she fights him off, and then doesn't he just get carified?
Well, yeah, she fights him off, and he pulls he makes a spike come out of his hand, tries to stab her with it, and gets it stuck in the wall. To which she chops.
Oh, that's
his
right.
arm
The car
off.
does not kill that guy.
No,
yeah,
she kills him.
Yeah,
Yeah, she cuts his arm off with the fire axe. That as soon as you saw the fire axe in the room and you heard the glass break at some point, you're like, oh, somebody's getting fire axed.
Yep.
Yeah, so she chops his arm off and then gets him in the neck.
He really did get Dracula 3000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody saw Dracula 3000.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I allow this reference even more now because it's too bad he didn't get longer to freak out about it.
Yeah.
Oh, my arm!
He did weep pretty bad
but then
after
he
getting his
just,
arm
then he just
caught.
immediately got the fire axe in the neck.
Then he gurgled because he got the fire axe in the neck.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, so Carr didn't get his road revenge on that guy.
But then she runs into
the cop.
The cop who he's following that guy led him directly to the underground lair, I guess.
Yeah, and just conveniently like Talon's like, I've popped my eye back in and there you are. And then the car's like down the hallway like, there you are. And
I do like that as he runs away, the detective guy goes, good luck.
Yeah.
And takes off.
And it's another really bad edit because like head Talon vampire dude is like he's very obviously standing in like an intersection of whatever the hell room they're in, but then they like cut away and he's just like running down a single long no side hallway thing. It's like, if you just taken a right, like the car probably could have made that turn, but whatever.
This car seems to have mystical like
fishtail
turning
ability.
around fishtailing powers. So,
but the way he gets it is, at least it's different. Like almost everybody else just got ran over and squished, but like. He just hits this dude and like makes him fly through the windshield, and then like gets to the outdoors and just does a hard turn. And this dude's like hanging in the broken windshield, basically does a hard turn, and it basically just cuts this dude in half, like using the broken windshield. Yeah, which is kind of funny because like the half of the remains of the dude is not in the car later. Like, did it have some sort of like get the dead guy out of my insides mechanic?
I just popped open the Lambo doors and took another hard turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that all the people are dead, and then it's now coming after them. Like
well, he's like, we got to get out of here, and then she's like, it's not going to stop chasing us.
He said he's not going to stop until he gets me.
Yep. So she's like, all right.
Yeah, and then they just they find the convenient, the knight's convenient dynamite stockpile.
Yes.
And comical old bundles.
Yes,
like,
bundled sticks of dynamite.
Yeah. And they're like, there's a forklift, and they're like, can you drive this? And which is funny because they never remotely drive it. All they do is operate the fork part of it. And so he's like, yeah, I guess I'll figure it out. And they just load this forklift up with dynamite and a timer, and then basically just make the car come at them until it hits the forklift, and then he just goes, lift. It's like, I know my Chrysler 300's a front-wheel drive. It obviously can't get off the forklift.
I like that he also he must have been pretty optimistic because he set the timer before the car even got there.
Yeah. He's done this before.
Yeah.
Yes, it's that common scenario. It's part of the police academy. They're just like, all right, killer car, bag of dynamite, 2 trains leaving Pittsburgh. How long do you make the timer for? He's like, I got this. Yeah, but 30 seconds is enough to lift the car up, just enough so that it can't roll away. And then they run out of the room and a bad CGI explosion goes, and they're like, yay, we killed the car.
I like that there's one little fire tornado at the end of that explosion.
Yeah.
But they ran out of gas quick for that. But, man, they pumped up the sound effects for it. They picked a good explosion sound at least.
Yeah.
But, no, the explosion itself sucks.
Yeah, and then, everyone's there, all, it's the cop ending, everyone's there, and he's basically doing I literally don't know if I'm going to have a job or if I'm under arrest or anything. I don't know. But, if I make it out alive and everything, call me. And she's on a stretcher, I'm hurt, reason.
Yeah, but she agrees.
Yeah, she agrees.
And then all of a sudden...
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah, it's the...
Surprise.
It's the Alexander Goodenough. The car's all burnt up and everything. It's like, oh, he's still alive. And, yeah. And then it just...
He ends up shoving her hospital gurney away.
Yeah,
diving out of the way, and it somehow gets her in the car.
It hits her. She's still on the hospital gurney. It hits the gurney,
like this,
and she just kind of slides into the passenger seat.
Yeah, because the windshield has been smashed out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's Mr. Steal Your Girl car because he just runs up, hits the car, and she's like, whoop, and then it's just the car's taking off, and she's pleading with it no, you can't have me. You controlled my life. You can't control my death, stuff like that. And then she's just trying, of course it starts playing the song because it can't talk or anything. It's just I'll play the song and make it creepy. And she's like, let me find the computer chip guts, and just starts ripping into the dashboard. And I guess pulls it out because it's coming up on another quarry, an abandoned one with water at the bottom. And then at the last second, she's like, oh, I found the chip. And the car just kind of grinds to a halt. And she gets out and fuck you, car, and pushes it off the edge.
Yep.
And that's the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, the last shot is it sitting on the bottom of the quarry, and the lights turn on.
Yeah, okay, yes. They set up...
It is awake again.
Yeah, another 42 years we'll have the Car 3, I guess.
Starring Ronnie Cox.
Paul! Please, Paul, I can't do another Car sequel.
Well...
I'm 112 years old.
If we got...
Do you know what insurance costs, Paul?
If we got...
No, you don't. You're Dutch. You don't worry about insurance.
If we got the Car 3 directed by ye old Paul Verhoeven, starring
I would
older
watch it. In
Ronnie Cox, I'd watch it. I'd first.
I'd
be
I
there
would wait
in
in
the theater.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's over. Except for setting up a dumb sequel. That will probably never happen. Or maybe it will, because it costs $11 and bring your friends with their,
You know
plastic.
what? As long as labor is cheap in Bulgaria, yes.
Yeah.
That
And
will
labor
happen.
and life.
Yes. Life finds a way, comrade. But yeah, it's over, and we talked about this longer somehow than I thought we would, but we're done.
We made this sound better than it is.
Yeah. It's
bad.
yeah.
It's 3 bags bad.
It's hard to sit through.
Yeah.
I would agree with 3.
Yeah. It kind of, there's some little things that salvage it from being just atrocious, but it is on the whole it's like all those early 90s gore movies that thought they were doing more than they really were.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh man, we got atmosphere and oh yeah, and there's some occasional gore here," but it's it's got that vibe that those do, which is not my vibe at all, But I see kind of a little bit of what they're going for, but like I said, this is 2 movies mashed together because you got this
At
whole
least.
cyberpunk body modification
the
crew thing, and then you got like the car as something completely different from that. Even though at its heart the two ideas are similar.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they're like, hey, why don't we just combine these? But as it is, it's...
They really could have done a lot more with the whole cyberpunk dystopia version of the car. Like, you could make a really good movie out of that. Also, they completely forgot all of the cyberpunk dystopia shit because there is zero of it. Like, everything is either industrial or some random fucking market. None of it looks like a cyberpunk dystopia.
Oh man, but they went to the data market, man, and the guy.
The data market looked like a flea market.
That guy had a HTC Vive, man. He's from the future.
He did. He had a helmet. Like, I want to see some Johnny Mnemonic ass cyberpunk shit. I want to see some
commit to something.
Hackers in that one scene, cyberpunk ass shit. I want to see, some Ready Player One cyberpunk ass shit. Like,
I mean, how many movies have we had where somebody downloads their consciousness into a computer, and then this one is just like, did that happen? I don't know. Like, it's right. It's there. I mean, we could have just explained it that way. That like, oh, I have a backup of me on the server or something, and like, and it's going to go to my car if something happens to me. But
or like something happened with the chip, and a drop of his blood got on the chip, and the give me something. Work with me here,
or do what the original one does, and don't try to explain it at all. And they go somewhere in between, and it doesn't work. So what did you go?
3 bags.
Okay,
yeah.
3 bags. I think I'm only going to go 2. I mean, I'm not saying I liked it that much more, but I was still somehow with this movie up to a certain point. Like I said, when the badly voiced over like yeehaw neon color body kit gang started chasing the car, I was like, I was so out of it. I came back briefly for that horrible CG shot that's kind of hilariously bad.
Yeah.
And the dude's just getting pulped. Like, that was like the only sort of surprise shot is like the fake cops getting out of the car and just be like, oh, and then just
like, that was got fucking wrecked.
Like, but like everything after that, I was just like, don't care. And that was the point where I was like, how is this a 90-minute movie? I feel like we've been here 4 hours.
It did feel way longer than 90 minutes.
Like, I mean,
way longer.
By that point, I was like, are we in Act 4 now? Because like a whole new thing just started. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know what's happening.
There are a few scenes, like, you could probably put together 5 minutes of clips of this movie that would make it look like it's badass. But, like...
But you'd be wrong.
Right. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, a Chuck review of this movie showing only the good scenes, or like a, hey, watch this scene. And people going, oh my God, I gotta watch that. But
yeah,
hard no as far as the whole movie.
He's giving a 1 bag remotely via chat from his quarantine zone.
Yeah.
1
bag, decent stunting in a couple scenes, shockingly good gore bits at times, and he liked not pink.
Yeah.
Otherwise, completely pointless.
I'm blaming the fever. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's what I'm going to blame it on. But I don't know. We're not that far off of ratings, but I'm just kidding. So I don't know. It's not much of a movie. And it's, like I said, it's part Crow, part RoboCop, part...
Crobocop.
Yeah, RoboCop, yeah. And I don't know. It's barely the car, the actual thing you came to see at all.
Carbocrope?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just fucking around now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very good.
Chuck would like to emphasize that it is still garbage.
Yeah, well, that's a Chuck Fine rating, though.
That's why it's bags.
That's a Chuck Fine rating, though. One bag or 1 jocks is that's Chuck Fine territory.
Yeah.
A little bit worse than Chuck Fine, but
anyway. All right, well, let's take a break, shall we?
Okie dokie.
I gotta say, these new headphones, they're much nicer on my ears. There's a lot more padding. However, I got big ass ears apparently, because it like pushes on my earlobes and it fucks with my ears. Like I couldn't wear the kind you wear that are just
Did you
that
buy
small.
a set of MDR-V6s?
Is that what these are?
No, the Sonys.
I have those at home. Yes.
Okay.
God, they're fucking nice.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, they.
Try bringing them in here.
I like them at home.
We could buy a round of those if everybody wants them. We could. I mean, they're nice headphones. They have long ass curly Q cords.
God, that cord is long. I use it on I like plug it into the actual stereo in the room.
Yeah.
Because it's way better than using the controller, especially the Xbox one.
It's 10 feet. I think.
Yeah, it's and it stretches well.
Yes.
Yeah, but those are such. I wouldn't mind getting a second pair just in case the first one goes on me somehow, which it probably will because I stretch that cord a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying I'll retire these. We'll all have the same. Maybe there'll be some uniformity to our sound for, at least the perception of sound for once.
Yeah. Getting those did change the sound of everybody's voices to me, which it took me a few weeks to adjust to it.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this thing's still broken considering the same plug works in one and not the other with your microphone.
Well, how much was that thing? Like $20?
It's not much. Yeah.
I think that's maybe $30.
Yeah, they're not very much.
No.
I was exploring other ones, but they sound like they all pretty much have the same guts on the inside.
Yeah. So you have a new movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything, BJ?
Vice.
Vice?
Yes, the movie Vice.
Oh, that movie. Oh, okay.
Yes. The one about beer. Wheat beer in particular.
Yes. That is exactly
Vice.
Oh, Vice, yes. I gotcha. Yeah.
So, I got nothing. We do have an email,
Okay.
which I could read. But if you guys are ready.
So ready.
Just about.
Put this back on my head.
I need to pay this invoice, I guess.
Too bad Chuck's not here to talk to us about Godzilla movies.
Oh,
and
no.
Indiana Jones.
There goes Tokyo. Go, go, Godzilla.
All right. So can you mute channels on the app?
Like whole servers or channels?
No,
within
just
servers?
channels.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah. Let me see. Politics. No, I don't want to edit the channel.
Oh, where is it?
Maybe I have to go to the channel first. Oh, wait, there it is. There we go. I already got it here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the bell up top.
Ring that bell.
If you see the little down arrow,
Yeah.
tap that, then you can notification.
Oh, notification settings.
I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Like that's what threw me off is phrasing it that way.
Yeah.
Which one did you mute?
I didn't touch anything.
Oh, okay. All right, time to mute. All your heroes are problematic. Muting politics. I don't want anything negative for a while. So, Alarith, stop posting. Don't need that negativity in my life. That's why I don't have Twitter anymore.
Should we use our... Yeah, we should use our PayPal balance for this, for the shirts, right?
Ooh, we haven't done that yet?
I haven't paid the invoice yet.
Oh. I'm
They're
surprised they
ordered.
shipped them. Usually they want the payment first.
She was like, I've shipped them. I'll send you an invoice in a little bit.
No shit.
Yeah.
Man.
They're real... I don't want to say slapdash, but...
No, shirts are good. That's what matters.
Yeah.
How did Tobias know them? Just worked with them in the past at some point?
Yeah. So I just pay with our PayPal balance, right?
Yes,
Sure,
please.
that's cool.
So, hey, everybody. Wait, did we get the shirts yet?
No.
So what happened? Did they send them to the wrong address and then, like, call the shipment back?
Yes.
Okay.
And the shipment just got back to them today.
Okay.
So I just checked the...
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just checked the thing.
So they couldn't just reassign the address?
Yeah, apparently not. I thought that maybe...
It's real dumb because it would have been like 4 doors down. If
Yeah.
Right. I thought that maybe UPS would go, no, that's not right. That's... Or the driver might go, we could do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was just 2 numbers transposed, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. We'll have shirts next week. We might even sport them on air.
We'll have them definitely by next week. They're only in Atlanta, so it's not that far away.
Yeah. I like it.
All right, let's
So
see.
you ready for a short second half?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Let me finish writing this email real quick.
Finish writing that email real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stage freeze.
Don't say stage freeze, just do it.
Can I still move my eyes when I stage freeze?
Yeah, you're like all sweet Jesus preacher man over there.
Well, I was about to clap, and he said, "Hold on." I'm testing
Hold it.
testing my stage freezing.
Hold it.
Done.
Wow, that's not really the clap. I just want to put my arms down. Ready?
Now I am.
Okay. All right, welcome back.
Hey,
Hey!
BMFcast.
Second
Yeah.
half.
Shirt update before we get into everything.
Oh,
a
shup date.
shup date. Yes, the shirts were shipped to the incorrect address, and so
Oh no!
they were returned to the sender, and they will be shipped out probably tomorrow. So slight delay again, but this time it's not our fault. So
They should get on top of this
yes,
because it's shirts.
yes,
Okay.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, don't blouse this up.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
They're shirts,
You
not
are.
blouses. Sorry. Anyway,
shirts and blouses.
anybody seen any movies?
I have.
I saw a movie.
What'd you see?
I saw Us.
Well, we're right here.
I
It's
know.
easy to see us.
I can. Yeah. No, the movie Us.
Oh.
By Jordan Peele.
Yes.
The follow-up to Get Out.
Is it a follow-up?
Well, I mean, it's his follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's
All right.
not a
He
follow-up.
made another movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, so,
Reactions seem mixed to this,
yeah.
from what I've seen. I've been avoiding like reading any of them. I just see
Right.
people's letterbox star counts.
Yeah, I'm gonna be as vague as humanly possible, because, you know, it's a twisty turny, I don't know what's happening kind of movie, so I want to avoid all that. I just on the outset I want to say it's a masterfully made movie. I mean, I think like I think like direction wise and acting wise, it's top notch. The thing is like I think Get Out was like it had something to say. It had a reason to exist. It seemed like the kind of movie that was like had been inside him for a long time, and he'd been waiting for it to get out. You know, like just like he had to make it kind of thing. You know, like passion project. This one feels more like let me make an 80s video special, you know, home video like special horror movie into a big budget kind of thing with real actors and stuff. Because I'm not saying that the basic premise of Get Out isn't a little ludicrous and kind of laughable when you get down to it.
Of course.
But I mean, it's like it works in that concept, and
It works in service of a theme.
in service of the theme, and it's like it becomes truly terrifying to think about the concepts contained within, you know, and stuff. This one is just kind of goofy. You know, it's like, you know, you could easily see this being made by somebody like him, or like it being Critters, you know, like in the 80s, you know, like, or Chud. I mean, there's a literal like reference at the beginning of the movie, like the very first like shot of the movie that's like, or, you know, it's a slow pan in to like a TV, because like part of this does take place in the past, like in the 80s and whatnot. And there's like just like rows of video cassettes next to the television on either side, just kind of like, you know, here's some things that people would have owned at the time. And one of them literally is Chud or Chud 2 or something like that, like just sitting there. And it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, are you like right off the bat tipping your hand that like this one's going to be kind of silly, you know, when you think about it? And, you know, it's sort of like if you take the kind of silly premise of behind the scenes of Get Out and remove any message or anything like that, it's like you're kind of left with like, well, yeah, this is just, when I step away, it's kind of a goofy horror movie. Not saying it's not creepy, and like I said, it's amazingly made, but when the reveal comes, that's where you're going to make or break everything. And I feel like that's the thing. That's why you're nearly 50-50 on the likes dislikes of this movie. It's like, because you're either with this or you're not, you know. And it's like, because it's like there's a reveal and other stuff that like are the kind of things that are like people are gonna hate, you know. Just like, you know, like I said, it's just divisive. But yeah, I mean, atmospheric as hell, like still something you should see. Like I said, I feel like, not that Get Out was made poorly, like this thing is just like doing some crazy good shots and stuff. I mean, like I just feel like it stepped up the filmmaking game a really long ways. So I'm still excited to see for whatever he does next, because I feel like at this point, you know, you make something like Get Out, it's critically acclaimed, you know, up for Oscars and things like that. Then it's like, okay, you know, sophomore film, you want to kind of step back and do something not, you know, you don't want to get pigeonholed as like, all right, every movie I make has to have some sort of like message, you know, some secret meaning to it.
Yeah.
I feel like not that I want to see him make something else, but I just hope his next movie is not a horror movie. Like, I mean, I feel like you're gonna get stuck in that, and that's not unless that's just where you want to be. I feel like that's the thing is like I would like to see those tools applied to something other than a horror movie. Though he gets it, like he gets the tension stuff really well, but like I said, I can see why this is so polarizing compared to Get Out, and I feel like now where people are jumping on the hipster train of like, well, Get Out wasn't really that good, because like
shut the fuck up.
Well, it's that like I didn't like this, so let me now go nitpick this to death, kind of thing, So that's just what people do, and anytime. People don't like people to become acclaimed. So it's like, oh, you made a good thing, and now you made something that is people are on the fence about. Well, fuck you.
Actually,
here's everything wrong with Get Out in 47 minutes.
How Get Out should have ended.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it just don't go in expecting Get Out. Like that's really it. And I still enjoy it. Like I said, it's the biggest thing I can say is it's like it's inconsequential comparatively, but still really well made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. You watch anything, BJ?
Well, speaking of horror movies, I watched, I think it's a 2018 movie, Vice. Was it 2018 or 2017?
2018.
2018, I believe it
Yeah.
came out just in time for Oscars.
Yeah. How do I describe this? How do I describe these things in the right order? Part of me thinks, why the fuck did anybody bother making that movie? But I did, despite thinking that, I did learn a few things that I didn't know. And also, it was really well acted. Like, I mean, Christian Bale did a really good job being a slightly too sympathetic Dick Cheney, despite the fact that the movie is obviously, got a bone to pick with Dick Cheney, which is fair because the world should have a fucking bone to pick with Dick Cheney.
Yep.
Bale plays him pretty sympathetically, which I feel is odd. It's like sort of tonally at odds with the movie. But he does a really good job. Like he's got the mannerisms and the little tics and that kind of weird, gravelly Dick Cheney voice down. So he does a really good job, and the movie looks good, and it does the job of, telling you this story of Dick Cheney and all the horrendous shit he did. I think the most striking thing for me about Vice is how many parallels to what's going on right now in American politics there are. Because it's like, it's basically W administration to Electric Boogaloo in American politics at this moment. Like,
just dumber.
Yeah. It's Dumb and Dumber too.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of parallels that can be very, very easily drawn between what's going on in, like, with appointments and with legal opinions in both administrations, where,
if the system isn't working for you, cheat.
Change this. Well, put in, actually, rewrite the rules is what it is. Like find people who will interpret your monopoly rules to mean that, oh, I landed on free parking. That means I get, that means I get all the money in the middle of the board or whatever. Like
that's the way you're supposed to play.
No, it's not. Read the fucking rules. But yeah, like it's really striking. It made me kind of depressed for a while having watched it. I was like, I honestly regretted it. Like in the moment, because I was like, I don't. It was like a Saturday night, I think, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. We are living through some bullshit politics.
Yep.
I don't want to watch bullshit politics from 10 years ago. But
That's kind of how I felt about the movie ever since it was like announced. Even I'm just like, nothing about that appeals to me wanting to watch it.
right. But girlfriend wanted to watch it, so I was like, all right, fine, we'll watch it.
I know how that goes.
However, I forgot how I wanted to phrase that. However, I did get to balance that out with something that I wanted her to watch. And I don't know if I mentioned this.
Are you about to transition? Because I don't want to fuck your
Yeah.
flow up, but I wanted to ask you about something related to Vice.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you see The Big Short by any chance? His other Adam McKay's I'm
No,
making a
I
serious
have
movie.
not.
Okay,
You should see The Big Short.
yeah. I mean,
That's the one about the
short
financial
selling
crisis.
of the
Yeah, the
short
financial
selling of
crisis,
the,
yeah.
the housing market crisis, basically.
I don't need yet another
Yeah,
depressing,
you need some time.
Well,
depressing movie about some shit that happened 10 years ago.
The thing about that is, since it's an ensemble piece, nobody, it doesn't dwell on any one thing for too long. You know, I have a feeling Vice is let's follow Dick Cheney around, and we'll have this cast of characters around him. But this is let's go over here and see what they're doing for a bit, and go over here. You know, so it doesn't. It's dealing with heavy shit, but it doesn't feel as heavy. I think because it's you can't get bored by oh, how much nefarious shit can you do and get away with? It's let's hop over here and let's hop over here. And, you know.
Speaking of cast, before I transition, Sam Rockwell is really good as W. He doesn't look much like him except for in a couple scenes, but he does a good job of capturing, the Delia-ness. And Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld, who'da fucking thunk it, is pretty fucking good. There's a very, very, very large cast of people that you will recognize, but those are his standouts.
That career trajectory, that's tough to bounce back from. I still have a hard time looking at Adam McKay and being like, do you want to make a serious? How did somebody just be like, you want to make a serious movie? You made Anchorman and Talladega Nights and Kenny Powers motherfucking CEO. How? That's just a hard leap. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, he had some pretty big named actors for The Big Short, right?
Yeah. No,
and
yeah.
I mean, I guess when you're friends with enough people,
sure.
But so my girlfriend made me watch that, and then I was like, well, we got to balance this out with something. And a couple weeks ago, we had been driving home from a get together, and I put on my playlist of Bond themes. So when I got home that night, I was like, she hadn't watched I think she's seen some of Casino Royale, and that's about it. But we got home, and I'm like, we're watching Dr. No right now. So we watched Dr. No. She fell asleep, but it was real late. I fell asleep too.
I kind of don't blame either of you.
Yeah,
Dr. No takes a while to get there.
Yeah, it does. The end is pretty good, but it gets real slow in the middle. So after watching Vice, I was like, let's watch another Bond movie. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm into that, which is a fucking great sign.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched From Russia with Love. I always skip From Russia with Love because my Bond set, the one part of the 85 DVD set from 15 years ago, didn't have From Russia with Love in it. It had Dr. No, and then Goldfinger was the next one in date order for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
So we watched From Russia with Love, and I probably haven't seen that in I don't know how long. I don't think I watched it when we did the Bond review.
Yeah, everyone jumped on later. I think
Yeah.
I had already reached near the end of the Connery phase by the time everyone was like, I should do that too.
I watched it from the beginning.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was any excuse to watch Dr. No and
Yeah.
Goldfinger and stuff for me. I'm
Yeah.
in.
From Russia with Love is great.
Yeah.
That is a seriously, actually good film. It's not just good for a Bond movie. It's a good film. I really like From Russia with Love. Even though they do they name the movie 3 times, and they also play that Robert Monroe theme song in one scene. Somebody's listening to that scene as they're cruising by in a boat. or listening to that theme as they're cruising by in a boat in one of the scenes. I thought that was like pretty cheesy, but it's not only is it a good movie, it's like quintessential Bond. When people think about a Bond movie, I think what is flashing in their head is From Russia with Love. There are cool gadgets, there's cool spy shit, Sean Connery being just smooth as fuck, gorgeous Bond girl, tons of intrigue. There's also Spectre and the cat stroking, like gratuitous cat stroking.
All of the Austin Powers stuff comes from that one.
From Russia with Love.
Yeah.
It is. If you haven't seen it in a while, you need to refresh yourself and watch it.
Yeah, I feel like I need to give that one another chance. My biggest problem with it has always been that it's sandwiched between Dr. No and Goldfinger for me.
Yeah,
and it's weird because I feel like that should have been the first one. Like, I mean, because like you said, it kind of sets a lot of blueprints.
It does.
And the weird thing is, like, but it's also kind of slow. Like, I mean, action-wise.
It's also interesting in that it's a direct sequel because stuff from the first one is referenced in that, and that's like they didn't do anything like that until Casino Royale. Whatever that is, 30-something years later.
Well, I mean, there's the On Her Majesty's Secret Service to License to Kill thing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. It would make a better better introduction to Bond.
Yeah, I just mean it's slow. I mean, I know you guys think Dr. No is slow, but to me that movie just drips with atmosphere the whole time, and it's I can't explain it. Like I just adore that movie.
The middle part of it just drags for me.
Yeah.
Well, the middle part, the reason it doesn't work for me is the first half is like a detective film almost, but we know where it's going, and so it's kind of like by the end of the second act, you're like, just fucking get there, man.
Yeah.
And that's just me, but
yeah. So I'm excited to I'm gonna keep going until she says okay, I've had enough Bond movies, which will probably be shortly after GoldenEye. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, really?
Anyway.
You think that long? Like, you think she's gonna power through like
Man with the Golden Gun,
Moonraker? No, actually, I like Man with the Golden Gun.
I like it too, but a lot of people
it's cheesy,
do not
yeah.
like.
But I'm saying like Moonraker and Octopussy, like these things, like those are tough to overcome. Moonraker's goofy as fuck, so maybe she'll get that.
Dude, the funny thing is, like, the first half of Moonraker is like classic Bond movie.
Yeah.
And then everyone forgets all of that because the third act is like, we're in space.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's some other bad ones, but
I feel like she's gonna have trouble with Roger. Well, I don't know.
Connery didn't make all good movies either, so
no.
Yeah. Just wait till you get to Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
Right now, Chuck is like screaming at the at the YouTube stream in his head. I can feel it.
I don't know.
Of course, Chuck likes all the bad ones.
Yeah, of course.
But
We've established that.
It's like I've said about Bond before, is that people come to that for very different reasons.
Absolutely.
And you just never know which ones people are going to be like, man, I really like that one. Because they're so varied and there's so many different things that they try throughout. I mean, if you just think about all the ones from the 80s, which directed by the same guy, you wouldn't know it.
No.
Because they all feel like completely different movies.
Is all of them in the 80s? Like even the two Timothy Daltons? Like I've had.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you're telling me.
What is it? Is it Glenn Ford? Is that his
I was
name?
going to say, you're telling me the guy that made like
yes,
View to a Kill made fucking License to Kill.
He made like basically he made View to a Kill, Octopussy.
That makes no sense because like God, those are. I mean, that's the thing is like View to a Kill's just it's got a good theme song, but it's just boring as fuck.
Yeah, it's all about horse racing. John Glenn, that's the name.
Oh yeah, the horse racing.
Yeah, I mean, View to a Kill is like it's not bad. It's just boring, and so's the first Timothy Dalton one. Like that's their problems. It's like they're not necessarily bad. They're just boring as shit. I don't even remember whatever the first Dalton one is. Now blanking on it, but
yeah, he made For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, and License to Kill, which are all completely different feeling movies.
Yeah.
Also, I know I had some strong opinions on. Back when we did our Bond recap, I know I had some strong opinions on which Bond themes suck. I don't think I dislike any of them anymore. I think I like each and every Bond theme now.
Well, I can't go with you there. You got that Sheryl Crow one. Like,
yeah, I think I still like it. Surrender
is better, but I don't. maybe that's
Surrender
like,
is what, the Katie Lang one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't. That song would be really good if someone who could sing was singing it, and Sheryl Crow can't sing, so that's a problem.
Fair. I still like the song though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been listening to the themes a little bit more lately, and I just find them all getting into my head at one point or another.
I seem to remember not liking that From Russia with Loved Ones just because. Yeah, it's just it's like it's so fucking like it feels like it's from 20, 30 years before that movie.
Well, I mean, then they just figured it out with Goldfinger immediately.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, this is it. Like, this is what we're fucking doing here.
Yeah, put Shirley Bassey at the helm.
And
Yeah.
Dr. No didn't really have a singing theme.
No,
I mean,
and the opening is just like a bongo theme
Yeah.
thing.
The theme from Dr. No is the James Bond theme.
Right. And
Yeah.
occasionally underneath the mango tree.
Underneath the mango.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
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 But-
I think my You Only Live Twice it goes between that and Goldfinger for me, which is the best one. I think I've listened to You Only Live Twice more than any of the other ones by a lot, because that song's fucking amazing.
It's good.
Yeah.
I know you don't like it, but Live and Let Die for me. I mean, if I had to
Oh
pick
yeah,
one-
that
Yeah.
song's great.
Yeah, I know. It's all of the songs in
Yeah.
it are good. That whole album is good. That whole album that's 6 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. It
Anyway.
changes pace, but that was Paul McCartney of the era. Like Band on the Run does the same fucking thing. So does
I know.
Admiral Halsey.
I-
yeah.
I joke.
Yeah,
I look forward to hearing you talk more about Bond
me too.
movies.
I'm jazzed for Goldfinger.
Yeah, and the thing I realized is I got the box set in the middle of my run. So the first half, like everything up to Goldeneye, I had watched only on DVD. I've never watched any of them on Blu-ray.
Gotcha.
Because then I got the box set, and I started from Goldeneye and went forward from there, I believe, on Blu-ray. Yeah,
4K Bond probably coming soon. I think some
Yeah.
of them are already in 4K on like
probably gonna
iTunes
come
and
out.
stuff.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure all the Daniel
but
Craig ones
I-
are for sure.
If they whenever they finally announce the Idris Elba one or whatever the hell they're doing next, I may have to just go back and do them because before Spectre I just did the 3 Daniel Craig ones.
Did they-
Because I just ran out of time.
Is Daniel Craig done? Because it feels
Still
like
did
it
one
kept
more, right?
going back and forth.
I
like
think he's back right now.
okay,
For now,
it's
he's
like I'm
back.
done. No, I'm
but
back.
he would
I'm
basically
done.
told them like, "There, you can't pay me." And after Spectre, like, and I don't even know what the fuck they do. I almost wonder if they just do like a complete rando, like just do the old Bond thing and just like, okay, everything that happened in the other ones, who cares? Just Bond going on an adventure. Like, I don't know if they even try to continue
Yeah.
serializing it the way
well,
they have in
I
this
think
era.
that's part of the problem with serializing it, especially 25. Are we at 25 movies?
Yes.
25
and
movies.
Chuck just informed us in the chat that Bond 25 started shooting this week.
Oh,
Oh, well, there you go.
nice.
Yep.
So yeah, like the problem with trying to do something serialized over something that's been going on for 50 years is that you're going to have to replace your actor eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've built a story with an actor, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna replace him and pretend like nothing happened? I
My
don't know.
dream is still a fucking Bond period piece.
Yes.
Make a new one and set it in the 60s and just fucking genuinely go for it, like Mad Men style. Like, all right,
Right.
we are in the fucking 60s. There's no stupid shit. There's no winking. Like,
Right.
because the problem with modern spy stuff is like cell phones and camera security, like
All of that ruins
cyber
spy shit,
everything
yeah.
has fucked spy stuff. There is no spy stuff anymore.
Right. It's all the cyber.
Yeah, because everyone's be like, well, I'd be able to get by that just by doing this, or oh, they would have caught him. Somebody would have filmed that.
Well,
you know,
I mean, the
that
other
sort
thing
of
is
shit.
like, I mean, it's come and gone over a really long period. What 22 years? But Mission Impossible is what you want in modern times at this point. Like Mission Impossible has passed Bond as far as I'm concerned about how to do a modern spy thing, mostly action. It's action with
Spy
gadgets.
thriller.
Yeah, I mean that's really what Mission Impossible is action with gadgets. I want a legit
with masks.
Yeah, I want a legit spy thing, and that's why you got to take James Bond back to the 60s.
Or you have to do it in a country where there is no technology, you know.
Yeah.
But that's
Even then,
even that's really difficult because you got fucking satellite phones and satellites and drones and.
I'm just saying, just make it a fucking period piece and
Yep.
lean as far into it as you can.
I agree.
Now that the Fox Disney deal has killed probably any future X-Men things, Michael Fassbender's free.
Yeah. That was what I said. Whenever that was, 6 or 7 years ago,
James
when I first
Fassbender.
suggested it.
Fassbender will be free.
He'd make a good 60s Bond, I
Yes,
think.
absolutely.
Yep.
I've been saying that, for I don't know how long. Ever since Inglourious Bastards. Like, literally, when when he does that switch in Inglourious Bastards, when he fucks up his German, and he's just like, might as well go out speaking the King's English, and I'm just like, that's fucking Bond. Right there. That's it.
Yep. But it'll never happen
I know, it won't.
because I don't have enough clout to make it happen.
I would like to get an Idris Elba Bond in there before we go full period piece. Just honestly, what I would love to see is a handover movie where for like the first half it's Daniel Craig as James Bond, and then he's like dying or retiring or gets vaporized or something and hands over a card that says 007 or something that's some sort of token to Idris Elba, and Idris Elba is the new 007
Oh, you
slash
mean
James
shooting
Bond.
the last act of the Dark Knight Rises that they didn't bother to shoot? Sorry, it's literally what they were leaning into, and then they were like, "Movie's over. Bye, go home, everybody."
Oh, were they leaning into handing Batman over to somebody? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saw
Well, they. Oh, okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I won't say anything more.
Well, if you got like 4 spare hours, you could always watch Dark Knight Rises.
Nah.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling these days.
But yeah, like a pass the torch movie from Daniel Craig to Idris Elba, thus cementing the theory that James Bond is a title, not a name.
As much as I want that, I kind of don't think I want that to be like.
You don't want it to be canonized.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly how I was going to put it. Like, I don't want it to officially be part of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like having
keep the mystery.
Yeah, or just be like, you know what? Just fuck it. We don't have to acknowledge this.
But at this point, they've done that with M, and I feel like it works. You know, I mean, I feel like they were like, yeah, M's just a title, like, and here we've passed that torch in Skyfall. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, which is weird because like Skyfall also introduces a backstory for James Bond, cementing like this is the Bond estate and the residence, and this is really your name, and it's not just a title. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we all have things we want.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm at this point in 24, 25 movies in, I'm kind of in favor of BJ's idea because, look,
who cares?
Well, no, I mean, at this point, if it's going to take them like 3 years between, in the '60s they were cranking out a movie per year. It was like no big deal. It was just like, yeah, that's practical. We're already doing pre-production on the next one while you shoot this one so that we can have the stunts ready to go. So they were cranking them out one every maybe 2 years, and they're dragging their feet. And it's 3, 4 years, 5 years between these things. Yeah, your actor is going to be done in 3 movies. So why have to hit the reset button and like get adjusted to the new guy when you could just be like hey, can you like come in and make a cameo before you like are totally done with this role and just like, all right, you're in the new James Bond. I dubbed the 007.
Well, yeah, in GoldenEye, they established that 007 is just like there's a 006 and a 004 or whatever. What was it? Sean Bean that was at the 006 that fucking gets wrecked. Yeah, I mean 007 at least is a title. So
yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, I think they need to say James Bond is also a made-up name at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's a shame they take so long because I would love to just see like weird little side stories, like we mentioned, Man with the Golden Gun. That's such a small movie by comparison. Where now like they have to be huge, like action spectacle, everything has to go nuts type things, and it's like there's enough of these movies you can do a small story and just like go with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also the guy who like if I could make an X-Men movie, I'd make X-Men in Murder World. So my opinion is moot. Because I just love little weird stories and just like a movie that just like the general audience would be like, the fuck? Are you fucking what?
Yeah.
This is a bottle episode of an X-Men movie?
Yep. That's exactly.
Yeah.
I could have so much fun making an arcade murder world movie with the X-Men,
Well,
but you know,
not everything has to be a giant story, but
yeah. But that's the thing
everything
when they're
has to be a giant
when they're
story
movies
now.
like now, that's the problem is everything has to be this huge franchise.
Oh,
Which not to bring Marvel movies in it, but that's why I kind of like some of the Marvel movies. Is it's just like some of them are small, some of them aren't a big deal. Like they aren't like saving the entire universe,
right.
You know, some are just like, all right, here's this little story.
Yeah.
Well, From Russia with Love is just trying to get a decoder machine.
Yep.
That's all it is. That's like this most
Like what an
basic-
actual spy story might actually be in the 60s.
It's one thing. It's one small thing. It doesn't end the world. It doesn't begin a new world. It's
Yeah.
5 different spy agencies working on, trying to do one little thing. It's cool. It's fucking cool.
I mean, I think the only way that's going to work is like you somehow have to demystify Bond. Like, I mean, maybe at a certain point, like maybe 25 movies in, you'd be like, all right, Bond just doesn't have the traction it once did, and for these spectacle movies, give us a fucking HBO series, like literally spy shit of the week. I'd be down with that. Like lock a guy in, like, hey, we want to do like that could be your next fucking Game of Thrones. I mean, it doesn't have to be like huge stakes like Game of Thrones, but you could do a thing, and it's like, yeah, okay, like there'll be 3 episodes in a year that have a crazy fucking set piece thing, but most of it's going to be spy shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could do an overarching story with, if they just did one season, 10 episodes of, Bond versus Spectre, that'd be,
That's what I'm saying.
cool.
But I mean, like, right now we still have this thing of like Bond is a movie franchise. It can't be,
Well, it was a bunch of little
books,
dime
I know,
novels,
dime novels that we've somehow like
turned into this giant
saintly
thing.
Yeah, like it's above reproach. And
By the
who's
way-
going to play the next Bond?
Yeah, right. Every once in a while, if you have run out of things to read, look for an Ian Fleming Bond novel and read one. They're interesting. It's a really interesting piece of perspective on the character, because you get so much more detail and so much more interest, like so many more interesting things when you're reading it. That's not to denigrate the movies at all, but you get, because you get to read at your own pace, you can, or when you're writing, you get to sort of write at your own, at your own pace and give the reader much more detail without having to explicitly show it to them like you would in a movie. You can get all the details about the cars and about the watches and all that.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
So anyway,
I've talked too long about Bond.
We've talked. I wonder if we added up all of our Bond talk over the years, like how long a podcast episode that would end up being. 10 hours, 15 hours, something like that. But
I wish we had an intern that we could send to like go through the archives and cut together a bunch of Bond
give us a
episodes.
Bond title total.
Yeah.
Total of all our Bonds.
Well, I mean, the Bond marathon, that's like
Yeah.
25-second halves.
yeah. At this point, I'm sure it's fully vested.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, we have emails this week, but we'll save them for next week because we're
Okay.
already running late
And
for
plus,
the evening.
make Chuck a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
why
he'll
not?
be alive, more alive.
Yeah, hopefully he survives.
Hashtag pray for Chuck.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to add emails to that list,
Oh, they could send emails to bmf@bmfcast.com.
what if they decide to call and lend their voice to our ears?
They should dial 910-5-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263 and get in touch with the Garfield phone.
Very nice.
Leave a message.
What if they wanted to help support us monetarily in exchange for goods and services?
In exchange for goods and services, that would be our Patreon at patreon.com/BMFcast.
Which, if they were a member, they would get first crack at those sweet shirts that we discussed earlier.
That's
that
correct.
Will be here next week.
They will be here by next week.
Yeah.
And they are going to be sweet. We have 50 of them coming, so that means there will be 46 available to the general
Yep.
public.
I'm getting mine.
Yeah.
I got to complete the set.
Right. We have 3 total BMFcast shirts. BMFcast shirts.
Yep.
Yeah, and we may, not to like say like, oh, you're losing your Patreon exclusivity, but if it's popular, we may do another run, maybe a different color.
Yep.
Yeah.
It may still be somewhat exclusive.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, we're just saying Patreon people get first crack
Yes.
this time.
Regardless, yes.
Just to, not like they're all going to sell out. I don't think they're all going to sell out. We just want to.
Oh, they're going to sell out.
I mean, immediately,
Yeah.
through the Patreon.
Oh, they will immediately.
They're all
But I have faith in
Anyhow.
everyone who wants shirts. But anyway.
We're just giving a little perk to our patrons, so they get them first. So,
Yeah. And Patrons get bonus podcasts,
they do. So
early
plenty.
access stuff, get to vote on BMFcast Extra. There's all
BMFcast
sorts
Extra
of
is like
shit.
almost a whole other first half every week.
It kind of
Yeah,
is,
it
yeah.
is.
Just with Chuck and I only, though.
we should use our Patreon funds to hire an intern to go back and recut all of our Bond stuff into one cohesive thing.
Bondathon.
Mm.
Yes.
Let's use our shirt proceeds for that.
Okay.
We'll get an intern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, there you go.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's it. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ, and for Chuck, this is BMFcast out. See you next time, motherfuckers.
There it is. I feel like we could just have a non-ending podcast of just, all right, each month we watch a Bond movie. And then we could just continue to cycle through.
Yeah.
Just be like, all right,
Well, it's been two.
yeah,
and
just watch Spectre. Time to
Yeah.
start over.
It's been just over 2 years. I think it's time for another Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that would be fun to. I don't think we could pay an intern enough to go do that. I don't know how much time and effort it would take.
Yeah, it is funny thinking about like when we did the Bond thing. Like the first couple weeks, I'm like, yeah, Doctor No's pretty good. It's a little slow. It was like me talking for like 3 minutes about the movie, and then by the end, we're like fucking recapping the movie in the second half because everybody's watched it, and we're like, dude, License to Kill, holy fuck, he fucking murks Benicio del Toro. Did you remember that scene?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I started from the beginning, but maybe I did start later. I don't know. Maybe you were disparaging or okayness of Doctor No. I was like, no,
Yeah,
Doctor, no
You
way.
had to-
I got to get in on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still like I was shocked at my reaction when I'm watching License to Kill, because I think I texted you guys or something, or I was just like,
License to Kill is the one with the slide whistle, right?
no, that's Man with the Golden Gun, I believe. Yeah, no, License to Kill is just like Timothy Dalton fucking murdering people.
Mm-hmm.
And that one dude gets popped in the bathysphere. But I just remember watching that, and I like started texting you guys, and I was like, dude, is it just me, or is License to Kill fucking awesome? And I think Chuck wrote back, he's like, you're fucking right, it is.
It's got a good theme too.
I don't understand why that movie, like, why there's so many people like, yeah, that's one of the worst Bond movies ever. And it's like, why?
I don't know.
Because he does all the Bond shit, and he does even more awesome things. Yeah. And he's just pissed the whole movie.
Yeah, they give him good motivation.
Yeah, like they use Timothy Dalton exactly how you're supposed to use Timothy Dalton. Mm-hmm. Just be like, I'm a fucking stone cold killer.
That's why it's Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
That's
anyway,
the only thing it can be.
I gotta go. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you for the Reese's cup.
You're welcome. I realized that we hadn't had a peanut buttery snack in a while.
It had been a while, hasn't it?
I will enjoy it some other time when my tummy's feeling better.
Okay. That's fine. Let's do a bonus podcast.
I will enjoy.
Right now. See ya.
All right, I gotta shut this shit down. Good night, everyone.
Stay tuned for Vaporil.
Vapro. Is that really what we're doing? Are we watching like 4 John Cusack movies?
We might be.
Hashtag Vapro.